I'm going to palpate the adductor longus muscle. So first I'm going to get my partner to create a barrier for me. Again, a relatively intrusive attachment point superiorly. It's going to be the pubic tubercle. So I'm going to use the heel of my hand to come distally down to the pubis here, and the heel of my hand finds it. And then just slightly laterally is a little bump, which is the pubic tubercle. Now, the adductor longus tendon is very, very prominent. So we're going to be able to feel it right up where the thigh meets the body. And it's going to attach, as its name suggests, it's longer than the adductor brevis. And it's going to attach to the medial lip of the linea aspera about halfway to 2/3 of the way down the femur on the posterior side. Okay, so the adductor longus is going to obviously adduct the hip. It also medially rotates the hip. So the way we're going to find this is, now I can have my partner adduct as I'm palpating the pubic tubercle, and I do feel a little bit of muscle pop up, thank you. But what I really want to do here is I want to follow the tendon distally, being very mindful of where my hands are going. And I want to find right in here, very medial on the thigh, there's going to be, when I ask my partner to adduct, go ahead, there's going to be a really prominent tendon here that I can strum over. Now, at this point, okay, relax for a second. At this point, the adductor longus meets up with the gracilis muscle, and they do the same actions, save for the gracilis does not help flex the hip. So that's how I'm going to feel the distinction here between the adductor longus and the gracilis. So I'm going to lay the flat of my hand here. I'm going to have my partner adduct. Perfect. I feel that very prominent tendon under my hand. Now I'm going to shift and have him flex his hip against resistance. And what I feel there is I feel where the border of gracilis is, and I can strum slightly laterally, and that tendon is the adductor longus, and I can follow it down to where it actually disappears under that sartorius muscle that's crossing the thigh. So you can only feel it about here. I'm going to palpate the adductor brevis muscle, which lies in between the pectineus and the adductor longus, and just slightly deep to both of those muscles as well. So first I'm going to get my partner to create a barrier for me, as this attachment point, the superior attachment point, can be a little intrusive. And when he creates that barrier, I'm going to come distally with the heel of my hand and find the pubic crest. And I'm going to come off onto the inferior ramus of the pubis, just being very careful there. So the adductor brevis is going to, like the rest of the adductor group, it's going to adduct the hip joint. So I can make it pop up at the superior attachment like that, but I don't feel much. I'm going to want to get into the meat of the muscle. The inferior attachment of the adductor brevis is going to be partially the pectineal line and partially the medial lip of the linea aspera, which is going to be about 1/3 of the way down the thigh. And as previously mentioned in my adductor longus video, if you haven't seen that one, the adductor longus is going to attach even further down. So I'm going to just landmark approximately where I know this muscle to be. So it's going to be between here and here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to continue to palpate. I'm going to come down and palpate adductor longus, which is the most prominent tendon. I'm going to get my partner to adduct against resistance. Very, very prominent tendon. And I'm going to palpate medially and follow the adductor longus until I can I feel the edge of that superficial muscle, and I'm going to palpate slightly deeper, and that is going to be the body of the muscle of the adductor brevis. I'm going to palpate the adductor magnus, which is a very broad, wide, flat, and deep adductor muscle. Its superior attachments are going to be a little intrusive as well. So I want to make sure that when I'm palpating down towards the table. I've got my partner here in sideline. I'm going to be palpating down towards the table and not up towards the body for obvious reasons. So the superior attachment of the adductor magnus is going to be the inferior ramus of the pubis, the ramus of the ischium, and the ischial tuberosity. So I'm going to find the ischial tuberosity by coming up with my fist here up against where my partner's sits bones are, and that's the ischial tuberosity. And I'm going to, again, pushing down into the leg, I'm going to palpate the flat group of adductors that's here. Now I know that the Adductor Magnus is going to butt up against the hamstrings group. And so that's how I'm going to find it. But first I'll show you the Adductor Magnus goes inferiorly and attaches all along the linea aspera and skips a little spot. It's called the adductor hiatus, and is going to attach onto the adductor tubercle of the femur. So if you find the medial femoral condyle and you come sort of up over it and you find the prominent hamstrings tendons here, it's going to be just medial and anterior to the hamstrings tendons on that bony condyle of the femur right there. So that is going to be where the Adductor Magnus attaches to. And so the way I'm going to palpate that is I'm going to first get my partner to flex his knee against resistance, which is going to bring up that hamstrings group so I can feel the hamstrings here. And if I lay my hand flat, okay, thank you. If I lay my hand flat where that hamstring group ends, which was right around here, now I get my partner to adduct against resistance. Perfect. I can feel the difference between that hamstrings group and the Adductor Magnus, which is going to be the first muscle that I encounter. So that's the general palpation, and I can feel it again up at the ischial tuberosity. Go ahead and adduct against resistance. Perfect. I can follow it up where it's going to go up to the ramus of the pubis and ischium as well.